listening to the Trash Talk Fantasy Football Podcast with your hosts, Angelo Sandone, Mike Surratt, and Mario Maniaci. Like and subscribe, motherfuckers.
What up, yo? It's your host with the most, the dopest on the East Coast, Angelo Sandone with the Trash Talk Fantasy Football Podcast. Today I am joined by my co-host, Mike Surratt.
You know it.
Mario Maniaci.
Are you ready?
And Dutch Master.
Woof.
Today we're going to go over our top 15 running backs exclusively for IGTV. For me personally, I'm going to shake it up a little bit and start with a different trend. I'm going CMC with my first pick overall, Alvin Kamara, Zeke Elliott, Le'Veon Bell, and then Barkley. I know that Barkley is at the top of most people's list, but that is a bad offense. The quarterback really only has one option to throw to him, and the defense knows that, so I think there's some regression there in his numbers. There's been a track record of second-year running backs, Leonard Fournette, Ezekiel Elliott, some big names to mention, that regressed in the second year. And I think the regression is real for Barkley. Mario, who do you have with your top five?
I'm going Barkley, then I'm going Kamara, then I'm going CMC. I got Zeke down at number 4, and I'm doing Le'Veon Bell number 5.
Agreed. I don't think we're that far off. It's just the Barkley thing. And
I see where you're coming from.
And you could absolutely see how he could finish outside of the top 5. It's a possibility. We're really splitting hairs with how good all of these top 5 really are. Yeah. Mike, who do you got?
All right, so I'm going Barkley. I just did it last year. I think he stays at the top. Only option on that team. Kamara, McCaffrey. I got Lev Bell at 4, and then I'm going with James Conner at 5.
Okay, and I don't hate James Conner at 5. I actually have James Conner at 6, Damian Williams at 7.
I pulled Zeke completely out just because of what's going on. So I think I'm the only one that didn't have Zeke in the top 5, but this situation really worries me. I'm really starting to think that he may not report and not play.
Even if Zeke was to miss 2 games, I wouldn't be concerned, and I would draft him in the top 5. His production will get you into the playoffs, and we've seen some really bad teams, because trust me, Mario has had them, but he has Zeke Elliott on the team, and he still winds up making the playoffs in multiple leagues with no matter who else the supporting cast is. So for me, Zeke Elliott still has to be in the 5, but I understand where you're coming from. If he was to miss maybe, say, 6 games, 4 games, now, yes, we're absolutely talking in that possibility. And if you think that's where it's going, I get it. So for me, my next 5 are James Conner, Damian Williams, Joe Mixon, David Johnson, and Cook. For me, the way that I look at it is James Conner is a guy that he's going to get the workload in Pittsburgh. He may tire out towards the end of the season, which is a little bit scary, because if he didn't tire out toward the end of last season, he would absolutely be a top 5 pick for me, and Barkley would be 6. Damian Williams in Andy Reid's offense should be a top 10 running back. You see other people getting carries with first-team offenses in camp all the time. Don't be scared about Damian Williams. I love Joe Mixon with Zach Taylor's offense. It's going to be very Rams-esque. And what he did with the 26th rated fantasy football offense last year, if they are even middle of the road, his numbers could be astronomical off the charts.
He came out, he's talking shit. Joe Mixon coming out hot saying that offense is going to be a nightmare for defenses this year. I think they're expecting him to be really involved a lot, see a lot of production.
Look at it. In PPR and standard, he was the 9th and 10th overall running back on the 26th rated offense. Zach Taylor comes in and at least brings them middle of the road. Let's just be a little bit more realistic. They're probably not going to be top 10.
Yeah, but can you make Andy Dalton middle of the road?
I think that Andy Dalton absolutely could be a middle of the road. Alex Smith had a fantastic season under Andy Reid in Kansas City, but prior to that, he was a fantastic game manager. Andy Dalton is a game manager or higher in certain games, not consistently.
Yeah, but Alex Smith was also drafted number 1 overall.
Yeah, I understand that, but was he number 1 overall type talent 5 years into the league? No. When you draft a guy number 1 overall, he's not a game manager. Somebody just reached on him, but he was a great player. He turned out to be a great game manager. His career's over now, sadly, I feel like.
It really is.
The case is closed.
A lot of that could have been Harbaugh.
Right, but getting back to Joe Mixon was number 10 last year, improved that offense a little bit, and he could be top 5. So for me, Mixon is being a little undervalued. Mixon, for me, is my guy. But then I have David Johnson. I see some regression there. He's top 5 on a lot of people's lists. He's not top 5 on mine. And Dalvin Cook is a guy that I love, but man, we're worried about the injuries, and that just brings his value back just a hair. Who do you have for your next 5, Mike?
So I get Zeke there at 6. I still agree with you that if he does get in, you can ride him to the championship. I just
love riding dudes.
I just need someone in my top 5. I'm a top 5 pick that's definitely going to play. Then I go Mixon, David Johnson, Kerryon Johnson, and then Nick Chubb.
Oh, I do love Kerryon Johnson. Yeah, but I am just one spot higher than you, Matt. Where are you at with your next 5?
I got David Johnson. I got James Conner. I like Joe Mixon. And then I've got Todd Gurley and same thing, Dalvin Cook to finish it out there. Or actually, no, that's one extra.
I
Sorry.
couldn't go Gurley that early. I actually have Gurley out of my top 15. Mike, do you have Gurley in your top 15?
No, I have Gurley at 11. Oh,
Wow.
well, yeah, he's in my top 15.
So yes, that would be in your
Yeah,
top
yeah, yeah.
15. Yeah, you're the accountant too, right?
Yeah, he's my next guy.
For me, I couldn't actually have Gurley there that high. I got Nick Chubb. You're forgetting about Nick Chubb.
I already said Nick Chubb.
Well, no,
I didn't forget shit about Nick Chubb.
I was looking at Mario.
I had a Chubb for Chubb already.
My next 5, I have Nick Chubb, Marlon Mack, Melvin Gordon, Aaron Jones, and Montgomery. I don't even really love Melvin Gordon here, but I think even if he winds up on a different team or traded, misses 3 to 4 weeks this season, he's still a top 12 play. We saw Julian Edelman last year miss 4 games. He came in and was the top 12 wide receiver overall. So it's a possibility. And Melvin Gordon has that opportunity in any team that he goes to, whether it be Buffalo, the Texans, the Buccaneers, it doesn't really matter. Aaron Jones is a guy that I love as well. Unfortunately, I'm a little nervous about his hamstrings. They're already acting up and they've hurt him in the past. And then to wrap up my top 15 personally is David Montgomery. I love David Montgomery. David Montgomery can play all 3 downs. He's a beast. You guys saw the video. If you haven't, go fucking Google David Montgomery and watch the first video that pops up. It's him breaking 9 tackles as he runs through one of the most prolific offenses in the most recent NFL history. Mar, feel free to try and wrap that up.
Wrap it up. I mean,
You don't think
you were
that
high on Montgomery, like really, really
I'm high on a couple
high.
things. You don't think that the Bears defense is good? It took 7 guys to tackle him.
In camp.
They're still hitting.
In camp.
Dude, he's pushing people over by their face mask. That's not like, ha ha ha, don't hurt the running back. No, when the running back's grabbing you by your face mask and throwing you 5 yards like you ain't nothing, that's impressive.
Yeah, he's also out there
it's-
trying to prove something when everyone else got their spot locked up.
I fucking agree to disagree.
It's camp. Let's not overreact to camp. We can react to it, but don't overreact to camp. It's just practice.
Who's your next 5?
So I got Chubb, I've got Williams, I've got Gordon, I've got Kerryon Johnson, I like Aaron Jones, Montgomery. I mean, I've got him way lower. He's still got to get around Cohen. I mean, there's just...
I don't think he's getting around Cohen. I think Cohen's working into him. He had 130 targets last year. I don't think Cohen can handle more of a workload, especially for a guy that can't run routes well. So I know that you think that Cohen is ahead of Montgomery. For me, I don't feel that way. Mike, where are you at on your last 5?
Gurley, am I the only one that had him in the top 15 at all? Dalvin Cook, 12. Melvin Gordon, just because the upside, I really do think he's going to play, even if he's traded whatever team he goes to. I think he'll have value there. And then the last 2 might be a little surprising. I'm going to go Leonard Fournette, right? I think he has the opportunity that if he stays healthy to really rack up some points
It's a
down
possibility.
there.
Yeah,
he was a guy that was right outside that top 15 for me. Yeah, I don't think that's far-fetched at all.
And then my last one, I was torn because I really think Devontae Freeman's going to have a resurgence this year. But I didn't want to put him in the top 15. I went with Josh Jacobs instead, just because... There's always that there's so much upside. He's going to be the primary ball toucher down there. And
he always gets us with the ball toucher.
Down there.
Yeah, and I just, there's been a rookie breakout, something, and I'm not seeing a lot of hype around a lot of other rookies. I think he's the guy that's going to come out and be that guy this year.
Yeah, I definitely like Josh Jacobs this year.
Guys, if you found this episode helpful at all, or if you found this to be complete fucking bullshit, please share, like, subscribe, do it all no matter what. We appreciate you listening. Mario, hit that gavel, B.